Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Engku Nurul Hazwani binti Engku Aziz from class TESOL 2 SJKC, PISMP intake June 2021. And today I'll be presenting my project proposal regarding assignment of EDUP3053 Technology for Teaching and Learning. And for the record, this is the project proposal for the task 1, which is regarding digital learning object, or named as DLO. So without further ado, let's continue with the content index of this presentations. Alright, so before we go deeper through this presentation, I will briefly explain on what is going to be presented in this proposal. The first thing, I will briefly explain about lesson planning, or where and how this DLO will be used in this classroom, and then introductions of quizzes, which is the selected DLO for this task, and then how to use quizzes, the features that are applicable in these applications or in the software, and then the rationale of using this DLO. As I have mentioned before, I will briefly explain about how this DLO will be used in this lesson planning. Okay, so I have decided to use this DLO or quizzes to teach English language in the classroom, to be more specific in Year 5 primary students for topic 3, wildlife. So for the information, I have referred to the textbook or English Plus textbook Year 5 for the content of this learning. Move to next section, which is what is quizzes. So quizzes is the learning platforms that offers multiple tools to make a classroom more fun, interactive, and engaging. And for your information, quizzes is used by more than 70 million people per month in schools, homes, and offices all around the world. So this app is designed to help you to participate in group activities and study on your own. So quizzes is one of the software, the applications, or that can be accessed by anybody to do the quiz. So that is the main idea for these applications, to do the quiz or do the assignments or something like homeworks as assessments tools, so on and so forth. Okay, so how to use quizzes, or what we can do with quizzes. Okay, as the teachers, we can create the questions using the quiz editor. So the supported formats to create the questions in these quizzes are like multiple choice, check box, fill in the blanks, open-ended, and poll questions. And we can type the questions within the dialogue and add the options. And not only we can put the words, but we can put the options, we can add the math equations, or we can even add image to the questions and add the options of the answer. So this will not only help students to read, but they can use these visual aids to help them understand about the questions and the answers given. Before I forgetting, we can also create the audio for the questions in these quizzes. And what's more, we can add options and mark the correct answers, and then the multiple answers will be chosen via the checkbox format, and then we can add the explanation for the answer if it is required for that questions, and then we can choose the time allocated to answer questions. Okay, so as the content creators of these quizzes, we can select these per questions or make it consistent throughout a quiz. For example, if I do this set of quiz, I want each question to be allocated for 5 seconds per questions. I can either make it consistent 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, and 5 seconds, or I can customize it for the question 1, 5 seconds, and then question 2 maybe 10 seconds, because the question is quite longer than questions 1, and then maybe the third questions I can get back to 5 seconds, and so on and so forth. So this is one of the pros of using these quizzes, because the teacher or the quiz content creators can customize this. Okay, and then don't forget to save the questions and then save the quiz once all questions and answers is already been added. So the last step for publishing it is to click the save button, and then it will publish the quiz. And now the quiz is now available in the library to start a live quiz or assign it as homework. Okay, so it means the teacher can use it in the classroom as maybe doing its live streaming, or can assign it as independent homework. Okay, so if we look at this slide, these are the examples of the questions that I have created. Look at the first, the left one. I live on the land. I have 4 legs and brown fur. I eat fish and fruits. So this is the questions. It indicates the clues for the answers. So here I use the multiple choice answers. So either ostrich, panda, elephant or bear is the answers. But then we go to the next screen. We live in the water and on land. What are we? What are we? It means it's more than 2. So the answers must be more than 1. So I have chosen to use the checkbox so that the students will tick the answers. It can be only 1, or maybe 2, maybe 3, or maybe 4. It depends on how we create the question itself. And then the number 3, what do you think it is? Maybe it's an, and then leave it blank. So the students can tap on it and then type the answers. So the software will detect the answers and give marks to it. And we, the creators, will key in first the answers that are correct. This is what we call open-ended questions. So as we look closely to this is the template where I'm doing the questions. Okay, look here, questions 1. What do you think it is? That is the questions. And then if we look, there is a giraffe neck. This is the features that I can add image to the questions. So as you can see below it, there are giraffe, zebra, gorilla and panda, and only giraffe is colored green, so indicating that giraffe is the correct answers. So see, I have allocated 30 seconds for these questions, and then 5 points if the students get correct. And it will continue to next question, next question, next question, and next questions. So on the right side, this is the review of the questions that has been made. You can see number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on and so forth. So these are the set of questions and the answers that has been provided. So moving to the reasons why I choose to apply quizzes in this task is because of the features that has been provided by the developer. The first is instructor-paced lessons or quizzes. It means the teachers can control the pace of this learning. I mean, the whole class can go through each questions together, or it can use as student-paced lessons or quizzes where the student progress at their own pace, and we can see the progress through the leaderboard, and then we can see the live result for each questions or lesson. So it can be either instructor paced or student paced. And then it is applications that apply bring your own device, BYOD, which is the students can always see the content on their own devices. For example, at the PCs, at their laptops, tablets and smartphones. Okay, so if this learning is being conducted at the school, maybe the teachers can bring them to the computer lab, or even now they can bring, if they can bring a smartphone to the school, they can apply it in the classroom. So this is accessible to all devices, so be it through website or even on the phone. So next, one of the things that intrigues me is we can access to millions of quizzes on these quizzes. Okay, so as for the teachers, it is very important for us to make sure the content of our teaching materials is wide, really wide, which is all the informations can be accessed through our fingertips, right? So for example, if I want to use this quiz set for my class, I don't have to develop or build it from the scratch. Okay, I can import any public quiz that has been provided in the quizzes, and then I can edit, modify and customize it according to my students' performance level, and or for their topic, for the syllabus, and then I can just edit it and then finish. I can use it. So it is very time saving. And then next, it is quiz and lesson editors, which is I can choose from 6 different question types to add image, video, or even audio to teleporting questions from one quizzes and lessons. And then the last thing is that that's been really important as teachers is to get reports. Okay, in quizzes I can get detailed class level and student level insight for every quiz. Okay, and then these records can be shared to the parents and to the guardians for the purpose of monitoring the students' progress. So look at the right side of this slide. You can see here, this is one of the example of the leaderboard. So every time the students answers the questions, this leaderboard will appear to show who ranked first, who ranked second, and then this will give them more motivation to answer it more faster and then correctly. And then on the right side more, this is the personal profile review, which is this is for example, this is my profile. I tried to answer these questions. You can see I can see how many percentage of the questions that I have answered. So here I get 5 correct questions, 0 incorrect, 5 streaks, which means 5 questions been answered correctly, and then 0 time out. And then I can see how the average of how the time that I use to answer one questions, and then that's it. Okay, right. The second last features that I've mentioned before is it gives the options for the teachers or to the creators to customize the question itself. So the purpose of these options is to toggle the level of competition and the speed. Okay, for example, here we look the question 1. I have allocated 30 seconds. Okay, so if I want to make these competitions more intriguing and more challenging, I can reduce the time allocations, for example, for like maybe 10 seconds or even 15 seconds, to make sure the students can read faster and then answer it faster. And then the last thing is it is available for sharing and collaborations, which means we can share this quiz with other instructors or even the educators, and then ask them to be the collaborators also, or just as the users. So this is one of the beauty that has been provided in quizzes, where we can share the content. Okay, it is give and take situations where we can give the content from us, and then we can gain something else for us too. These are the rationales why I believe that quizzes could be the best digital learning object that I can use in teaching classroom is because number one, it is free user. Who doesn't like the things that are free, right? So there are no extra subscription is needed to access the applications. Okay, all users can access to this even without signing up to quizzes. Okay, which means in the classroom, if we want to use it for the students, we can ask them to just enter the game code without them logging up or sign up for these quizzes. Okay, nevertheless, one of the cons for these applications is we can pay for the subscription rate for above premium users. It means not all features is being accessible for free users. And number two, it is flexible, which is the teacher can create or modify the quiz according to the student's performance level. So not only the quiz itself, but also the time allocated can be reset according to the student's performance, like I have previously mentioned earlier. And then the last thing is because it can be used as an activity in the classroom or as assessment tools for the classroom. Why we as the teachers need to print many worksheets when we can go for paperless initiative, right? So as the teachers, I believe that using quizzes in the classroom or outside the classroom is very beneficial and powerful to enhance students' comprehensions, since we are leading towards the fourth revolutionary industry, which is we go for digital things, and this is the task for digital learning object. I believe these quizzes can be really useful to be using in the classroom, where we can go for paperless assessment. So aside from all the information that has presented just now, I believe there are pros and cons of using these quizzes. And for my viewers, thank you for watching this. Please leave any comments for me to improve my project, and then please like and share this link. Okay, thank you.